treat me so mean. You're the meanest old woman that I ever seen. I guess if you say so, I have to pack my things and go. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. Must be talking. Hit the road, Jack. What you say? Oh, woman, don't you treat me this way, cause I'll be back on my feet someday. I don't care if you do it Sunday studio, ain't got no money, I just not go. I don't care if you do it Sunday studio, ain't got no money, I just not go. Well, I guess if you say so, I pack up my things and go. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. Must be talking. Hit the road, Jack. What you say? Hit the road, Jack.
Hello. I hope the stream is working. Find out soon enough. I am going to check the stream actually real quick, just to make sure that I'm not like talking to myself or something like last time. I'm just gonna turn the music down a little bit more because it's still pretty loud. Also realize that the music is not the best fitting. Oh jeez. For this, for what I'm doing here, but we might find something different a little bit later. So let me check this real quick. Just testing the sound, just making sure that everything's getting through. Da 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 ba da ba. Come on. I don't know if it's hearing me or not. That would be very disappointing if it was not hearing me. Oh, I muted my tab, so that's really helpful. Alright, and then test the music real quick. Alright, I think we're looking pretty good. Sweet. I think we're looking pretty good. I had the desktop audio turned off. Play the music a little longer. Make sure it's all coming through. I had the desktop audio turned off. Play the music a little longer. Make sure it's all coming through. I had the desktop audio turned off. Oh, I'm like looping now. Okay, we need to turn that off. All right. Well, hopefully you guys can hear the music. I'm gonna put on something a little different, I think, because this isn't exactly the vibe I'm going for. Let's you know what, let's throw on the Samurai playlist. That's my favorite. Yeah. This one I can turn up a little bit louder as well. Cool. So yeah, we're just doing some drawing because I felt like doing a quick stream. I think. Oh crap, that's not good. That's gonna be hard to find later. That's fine though. We're gonna be doing some drawing. It's all good, guys. We're chilling. We're chilling. That's what we're doing. We're just hanging out and drawing some pirate guys. So yeah, my goal for the stream here. You can kind of see I've been working on this a little bit recently. Funny enough, I actually started this piece about a year ago, and yeah, it's been a while. I started this, I believe, December of last year, so it's actually been over a year. But I had only really done the line art and stuff, and so I've just started doing the color recently. I'm dropping a lot of frames. I am sorry, guys. Let me check. I don't like this light. It's kind of gross. Ew. One day I'll fix my lighting. One day it'll look good. But until then, I will deal with looking as I look. It is what it is. So yeah. It's lit up in here, boys. So yeah, no, just gonna do, I'm hoping to get Mr. Samurai Man done. I have about an hour and 10 minutes to stream, so that's how long we're gonna stream. and then I'm leaving for the night. So that's gonna be that. But tonight we're gonna be working on Samurai Boy here. So let's do that. You can kind of see I've kind of chosen color schemes for each of these other characters so far. This is actually, this whole group here is my D&D group that I play with, and each of their different characters. So this is my guy here. Actually, I can kind of give you a little zoom if you'd like. He's literally just a tiny little rogue man, which is pretty sick. But we've got a very interesting array of like group members here. We've got like this sorcerer, tiefling. We've got a half-elf, pirate, paladin, and a couple different other characters. We've got wow, I'm blanking, guys. It's been a long day. I apologize. Why am I dropping so many frames? Jesus, that is really bad. And I'm just drawing. I'm not even like playing a game. That's interesting. I have dropped a lot of frames, but it's all good, guys, because I don't know. I hope it's not as bad as I think it's going to turn out to be. But hey, it's all good. If anything, I might turn down the FPS a little bit later so that we don't drop as many frames. And you know, I'm going to do that now because I don't really trust this thing to work properly anyway. Let's see. Where's our output here? Oh, of course I can't change the settings while I'm recording. That's fine. Whatever. We're just going to do some coloring stuff, guys. So we're going to throw open a new... Hello? I'm going to throw open a new layer here. And actually, I'm going to name this after... Name it after the guy who plays the character, which makes sense. So he... Actually, let me see if I can find the picture. I have, like, the reference image... that he wanted to base this off of. And actually, I probably have it on here as well. Give me a second. Alright, throw that back up. Just so you guys can see, like, kind of what I'm working with here, what his sample concept was. Actually, I don't really need it on the iPad if I have it here anyway. Cool. I'm flattening posters with the iPad, so I'm trying not to, like, move it if I don't have to. So, now mind you, this is a super grainy image, so I apologize. But this is kind of, what he told me when he wanted to design his character, he wanted something like this, but a bit more samurai and carrying katanas instead of these giant greatswords. So this is the concept image he sent me. Obviously, again, it's grainy as all heck, but this was the general idea he was going for. This is what we're going to try to kind of color scheme wise, at least we're going to try to hold true to this. I might add a couple other things because I'm kind of seeing some like browns and golds. I kind of want to pull out some blues in that as well. But we'll kind of see where it goes. I kind of like blue for like the cape, which I actually, now that I think about it, I never put a cape in and I'm not sure if I want to or not. It would kind of be cool. I mean, I also have the drapery kind of stuff going around here as well. That I could do. So that's all stuff that we can add. But for now, we're going to work with the metal plating. So the metal plating, I'm kind of feeling like we go with... Actually, I just realized, I don't even know if you guys can see this because of my side. Oh, you can. Okay. So you can see most of this color area here. Cool. So I'm thinking of going with something a little more... like kind of between like a gold and silver kind of. Maybe something like... Let me just throw up the palette actually, and then we can try to test some colors. So what if we did something a bit like this for the plating? Maybe a little darker? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like this. Ooh, I kind of like that. And then we could accent it with like a hot gold, maybe. Obviously, later on, we'll go through and scuff everything up. This is literally, as you can see from everything else so far, it's all the base color. So I haven't added anything in addition to that. Let's make this a little bigger as well. Erase a little easier. So I'm going to slap this down as the base metal color here. And then for the like gold areas, I'm kind of thinking something like, this might be a little It might be a little bright. Let's try something like... No, it's a little too bright now. Let's see. Something like that, maybe, to go against this. I think that could work. Maybe something a little more tending on this end. A little grayer, maybe. I think that might be blending in a little bit too much. Let's try this one again. Yeah, let's stick with that. So let's go through and do the armor then. So kind of, and I'm gonna actually throw on the lighter gray so I can see better. Which, if you don't already know this, as an artist, you should always have a few different gray tones as your base, because you can always screw up how much you've actually filled, and it's always nice to be able to like use another tone to kind of counteract that and kind of see where you're screwing it all up. With this armor plate, I believe this is the armor, and then the other piece is actually cloth. So we're going to leave that for now. We're going to come back and cover up all these kind of loose ends as well. So we don't have to worry about that for right now. And this piece as well. It's funny. It's a friend of mine, Connor, who may or may not be here. I doubt it, because he's always doing stuff. Yeah. But no, a friend of mine, Connor, and we've always kind of gone back and forth because I have always been the line art guy, and he has always been the color guy. And I've been improving. Still not as good as I could be, but I've been working on the whole line art, or the whole coloring thing. It's a lot more difficult than I originally thought it was, and it's proven to be quite a challenge to learn, but at the same time, it's been a lot of fun. So, and trying out new like techniques and styles and stuff is one of my favorite things to do anyway. So it's been really nice to kind of experiment around with that kind of stuff. With the swords, I think I kind of want to make them more silver. I don't really want to stick with the same color for the armor and the swords. I might do a variant of this color, but not keep it the same. That's kind of what I'm thinking. This plate, I want to make a different color as well. So I'm going to kind of go around that for now. Also, I'll be honest, I don't really know. Like, I know there's probably people who could color this stuff so quickly, and that's not me. I haven't really learned any better techniques than just filling it in. Like, I know you can like highlight certain areas to fill in big blocks, but I feel like that just causes a lot more like back work, because then you have to turn around and do like remove a lot of it. So I feel like it's kind of counterintuitive. But hey, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. This plate and these plates, I'm going to make the same color. But these boots, on the other hand, they will be this color. And then I will use the accent color for these other plates. So we'll do the big sections first. And actually, let's scale this up to fill in a little more space. See, now this song really captures this guy well. But not so much the other characters, because these characters are all from a pirate campaign. And if you know anything about pirates, they don't really have much to do with, like, samurai. It doesn't really coalesce together too often. But hey, who cares? It's fine. It's just music. I'm also not really worried about covering over this leg, because the next layer I put in for color, I just realized I put all of this on the wrong I do that a lot. That's one of the other mistakes I make a lot is putting things on the wrong layer. But that's fine. You want to know why? Because it's easy to fix, usually, unless it's not. But in this case, it should be pretty easy to fix. Because I can just highlight everything and fix it all at once. Once you start getting more things going on the same layer, that's when that could become a problem. But at this stage, it's not really an issue because this is all base color. This is also one of the reasons why when I put projects together of like large quantities of characters, it takes longer than I feel like it should because I take a dumb long amount of time to do this kind of stuff, and I need to kind of work on that. But without further ado, let's chop. Oh nope, I just chopped off his foot. That's not a good idea. Let's do this. And then we can file. Nope, not file. I'm going to just copy and paste it, literally. And then I'm going to put this down here and merge it with this one. So now it's still here. Now I just got to move it in place. Which should be right about there. Actually, it might be a little off. Or I may have just drawn outside the lines in certain areas. Oh, no, it is off, actually. Let's just fix that. There we go. That should do it. And then, of course, we can always go in and patch up the issues. Because not everything is perfect in life. Unfortunately. That'd be really nice if it was. Cool. So, and then I'm just going to actually erase it from the palette as well, because I completely forgot to do that. And there is a particular reason why I don't put my palette on the same layer as my other colors. And that's because if I want to hide a certain layer, then I lose the colors that I was using. For like, so if I want to match a color, oop, let's not do that. So if I want to match a color from, say, her jacket, and I want to make a similar color here, I have to go back and unmatch this in order to put this back in, which is kind of annoying. And actually what I might do is just do this as well, so I don't have to look at them. I could just look at their palettes if I want to. So there we go. So now we're going to keep coloring from his page instead of from the other one. Cool. So let's do the accent color now. Jump in with some details. Freaking love this mix, dude. It's so good. I really do. And again, sometimes you'll find those little spots that you just gotta kind of patch up a little bit. But it's all good. No problem. And at this point, when you're just doing base color, it's all about, like, elementary school color inside the lines crap. It's not super crazy. You just gotta be smart. And not waste your time trying to do stuff that doesn't really matter as much. Like, for example, yeah, there we go. And of course, then sometimes your computer will lag, and you'll sit here like, why is my thing not working? And you'll be like, oh, it's because it's lagging. That's more of an issue that I have to deal with a lot. But yeah, it's really tanking for some reason right now. Not really sure why. Hopefully it's not because of the stream. But if it is, it's whatever. Should be fine. Sometimes it does little peaks here and there, and then it'll just fix itself. It's all good. I will say with Photoshop, depending on what style you're going for in certain things, it will sometimes take up a lot of space. And make sure to save frequently, especially in Photoshop, just because, like, I'm not sure about other digital programs, to be honest with you, But I know with Photoshop, they really like to save little packets in your memory. And so if you don't have enough space on the hard drive that it is currently storing it on, it's also a good idea to maybe set up a second hard drive. And the only reason why I would recommend that is because then when you are kind of setting all that up, you don't have to worry about running out of packet space, because I've done that a couple times and it is not fun, especially if you're drawing for an excessive amount of time and you forget to save, because then it'll just be like, hey, you don't have enough packet space, and either it will stop you from continuing until you fix that issue, or it'll just be like, nah, you can't draw anymore, and it'll just close the program. And if you didn't save, you're kind of screwed at that point. So make sure to save. It's important. And I'm honestly mostly saying that for my own benefit, because I forget to save as well. So don't worry about it. It happens to everybody. And by everybody, I mean me, because I am very forgetful. So. I feel like I'm getting closer, and then my face is looking weird in the camera, and then I go back, and I look normal. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit more. There we go. So just in case I decide to lean in and get a little close and personal with the drawing, I won't look like a freaking zombie or something. That'd be cool. I'd prefer not to look like a zombie. If you do jump in, by the way, don't be afraid to come in and say hi. Sometimes it can really feel like I'm sitting here talking to myself, and if there's somebody in here, I do enjoy talking to another person. It's very enjoyable. But yeah, man, it's funny. I've tried streaming drawing for, or not drawing, tried streaming gaming for a very long time. I've come to realize that, like, it's just not something my computer can handle, man. It's just not something it can handle. Like, maybe if I did, like, League of Legends, I might be able to stream. Although I'll say that, and then, like, in a week, I'll try it, and it's just going to break everything. So I'm not going to make any promises either. But I might try streaming League again, because most games don't work. League might work. I know Minecraft worked for a while. Borderlands didn't do too bad. It didn't really tank my computer too bad. But certain games will just, like, devour everything that my soul has left. And by my soul, I mean my computer. So, hopefully, one day, I'll be able to upgrade to the point where I can actually do that. But for now, I'm down with doing drawing streams. Drawing streams are fun. And just talking and hanging out with chat if they're around, you know? It's always a good time. If you can't tell, I'm definitely going for a very chill vibe for these streams. One reason for that is because, honestly, y'all got enough stress in your life. You don't need something coming jumping right at you. Everybody needs something to chill out to. You know? And so, if somebody wants to jump in my stream at the end of the day and they just hang out and chill, have a good time, just relax, I'm down. If I can make somebody's day better by literally just not having them have to stress out about something, then that works for me. I am okay with that, you know? Cool. So we got the dragon. Accents. Definitely want to, you know what I really want to do actually? I want to get these buttons here. And I'll probably have to redo those at some point once I do the plating anyway, but whatever. I'm not super worried about it. I also want to do these rings in gold. Tiny little like buckles that are holding everything together. And eventually I'll go back and do the cords as well with a different color, but just kind of getting all the buckles and everything here. Got a buckle up here as well that I forgot about, so let's grab that. So we got our plate metal, we've got our gold accents here. Probably gonna make that the plate metal color as well. And we'll do that all the plate metal. Do we need any gold accents down here? I actually don't think we do. Could put one along the bottom. Sure, why not? It's one of the other things I love about doing the color part of a piece like this is that you kind of just get to improvise. And if you don't like it, guess what? Just go back and change it. Because it doesn't matter. At this stage, you're not doing the complicated stuff. You're not shading and manipulating and bending and twisting and shaping your character. You're just, you know, there's no flowing cape. You know, there's no special stuff that you have to do to it. It's literally just throwing down the color that you think you want it to look like. And then at some point when you go back and you do the more advanced color steps, you can go back and fix it. Whatever, doesn't matter. But for now, you're just doing fun stuff. Let's see. So we've got the other plate color. I kind of want to do like a slate blue for this. Something like maybe, let me jump on the palette again. Actually, I'm curious. But okay, I got both of those in there. Cool. So what if we did something like that? Maybe a little darker. A little more blue, maybe? Like this? Ooh. I kind of like the way that looks. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to throw that in the palette as the second armor color. And the reason why I also do this as well is because I like to keep everything spaced out, because eventually I'm going to be doing shading, which means that I'm going to need darker and lighter colors of each kind of section. So if I look at these two here, right? Well, this entire section here is not just going to be this brown, because there's shadow that comes in behind the jacket, and around here you're also going to get a little bit of reflection in certain areas depending on where the light is coming from. So if the light's up here, you're going to get a little reflection over here probably, maybe a little bit down here as well. So if you have that shadow and you have that light, you need to be able to communicate that. So that's why I leave extra space here, so that I can manipulate this later and add in the different variations, so that if I decide, oh, you know, when I'm working on this character over here for some reason, and then I look back at this character and say, hey, there should be a reflection here, I can go back and use that same color without having to like kind of guesswork what's in here. So I can manipulate it in here, but leave the original here so I can work with it again. So let's get rid of this, because this is just the primer, and let's actually fill it. Nope, not with the eraser. That's not going to help, huh? And actually, I'm honestly just going to color right over these, because I can always go back and do that again. That's not a problem. This is a bigger area that I need to cover, so I don't really care about those colors. But now I know that I want to do it like that, so that's what really matters. And just so that I remember for later, I'm doing this in that color. I'm also going to do this here in that color. You know what? No, actually, this is going to be a darker blue, so we're not going to worry about that. We're going to do these, and then we're going to do this and these in that color. And that way, again, if I go through and mark them beforehand, then I know what I'm going back to, and I know what I'm going to do next time, so I don't have to worry about that later. That's something that I like do a lot, because sometimes I'll just like finish the drawing and be like, oh wait, I completely forgot about that entire section. It's just blank, no color. So at least if I mark it, then I know what I'm going back to and what I want to do color-wise with it. So if I do miss it, I can go back and I know what I want to do with it. I don't have to, you know, redo the whole thing. It's funny because I could also do, based on how the actual like D&D campaign has gone, if I did an alternate version of these characters, most of them would look exactly the same. If I did it based on certain sessions, but there was one specific session where one character would very much so stand out from the rest, and that would be mine, because he literally went from being fully like equipped and dressed and everything in one session, went from being completely and fully dressed and equipped to being completely stripped of literally all his clothes except for his loincloth, and then strapping on some goblin armor so he had a little bit of protection. And so he went from a like super stealthy classic rogue like character look to literally just like a goblin. Actually, you know what? I think I have it here. Let me see. And mind you, these were just rough sketches I did of the character just so I would have an idea. Ew, that's weird. Of what they would look like. I don't even know what this is. What's this? Ah, yes. So this is what my character looked like originally. It was like kind of a green and brown theme. Classic stuff. He had like a pistol and a dagger because it was, you know, like a more pirate type of scenario. But after this session, he had been stripped of his cloak, his jacket, his shirt, his belt, his knives. No, he had a belt, not his belt, but he had a belt. Lost his knives, lost his like side cloth, his pants. Still had his boots. Lost his his gloves. He kept the headband, kept a sword, strapped on a goblin set of armor because he didn't want to just walk around as his loincloth, and then tied 2 hand axes to rope so he could throw them and pull them back to himself. So that was what he eventually became. So you can kind of see he literally went from just full-on rogue to just a dude with stuff on. But hey, that was the fun part. That's what's all fun and games. Ended up buying another like cloak again anyways. It didn't really matter, but he was just chilling either way. No problems. Just hanging out. Nothing crazy. So let's finish up this little armor piece, shall we? It's funny, I always get confused because, like, I know most artists when they post their work online and everything, if they're posting like video stuff, right? It seems as though, like, even if you were to slow down their work process, I feel like they work a lot faster than I do. Just like doing all the art and everything. And if you even consider like people who do animation, like they draw so freaking fast, right? And I'm sitting here like, look how long it takes me to draw this little, or fill in the color on this little thing, you know? It's just kind of funny. That's one thing that I do want to do over the course of this year is really practice faster drawing, so that like if I'm really gonna slow down, it's really gonna look good. Is kind of the idea. You know, like if I'm gonna do a drawing slow, I want it to be like masterpiece worthy. You know what I mean? Man, I'm feeling this vibe right now. It's lit. I really do love this playlist. I have a lot of like Japanese mixes and stuff in my playlists. Just because I enjoy them. They're really chill. Just hanging out, listening to a steady beat with some like classical classic Japanese instruments, very like traditional sounding. But then it also has like little modern twists here and there, which I like. I don't know, man. I like it. It's good. It's vibing. It's a vibe, bro. And as I said, it goes very well with this samurai character, who very much so does not fit in with the rest of his group, at least looks-wise. And arrow-wise, I guess. But it's all good. Who doesn't want a pirate ninja samurai dude, you know? Pretty lit. Right. So that's that piece there. Kind of see what that looks like in full. I think that looks really freaking good, if I do say so myself. So yeah, we'll probably use whatever same cloth color that we use for some of the other pieces. We'll probably also use for this here, the underlying part of this. Doesn't really need to be that close, does it? This is actually kind of funny that I'm starting off the year. The first art that I'm really working on this year is a throwback to something I was working on in like 2018, and now I'm back here in 2020 finishing it. To be honest with you, like if I really wanted to, there's probably a lot to the line work that I could do edits with. But I do think that the color work will do a lot to improve that as well. So that's kind of my goal, is to kind of see where my color work has gotten to, where like, can I bring this to the standard of something I've been working on more recently with just the color. And if I can accomplish that, then I will be very happy. It's kind of my goal, but we'll see how it goes. I also don't know if the chat is working in this application here. So if you're putting something in the chat, scream at me. I just realized that if you scream at me, it's not really gonna. I'm not gonna hear it because if the chat's broken, it's not gonna come through. But you know, it is what it is, man. You live, you learn, or you don't, and then you just die, and that's the end. Unus annus. My sister would probably get mad if I said that, if she heard me say that, because she loves Unus annus. I think they put out pretty good content myself. I haven't seen much of it though. I was gonna say, actually, it's funny because this may be the first time that I really get to work on scuffed armor. I don't do a whole lot of armor art. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't do a whole lot of armor art just because it's not really my thing. I'm not very good at it, which means it's something I should do more often, so I can practice a bit more. got a few different sketch projects I've been working on with armor as well. But, yeah. It's just different, that's all. But I'm curious to see how this will all come out color-wise. I haven't really done, like, whenever I do armor, it's usually just, like, clean armor, and it's not really scuffed up or anything. But this guy's been in some fights, so I'm going to have to make it some scuffed up armor. And I'm curious to see how that ends up coming out, if I end up doing a decent job with that or not. We'll see. By the way, anybody who is new here, I haven't done a whole lot of drawing streams, but any of my final projects, any of my final works, anything that I do, if I'm doing sketches and stuff, like if I, you know, have some extra time and I just kind of do a quick sketch to practice or whatever, all that stuff goes up on my Instagram page, which is, I believe, thegallantKnight_art. Might be linked below. If not, then I will eventually get to that and fix all that up. I do need to fix and kind of revamp my whole Twitch thing going on here if I'm going to start streaming more frequently, but that's something that will come in time. So yeah, any of my finished things are going to be over on my Instagram. They're also usually on my Twitter as well, which I believe is also the Gallant Knight_art, or it may be the Gallant Knight 69 still. I'll have to check. Actually, I have it on my business card here. Let me see. At the Gallant Knight 19 is my Twitter, so you can find it on either of those, as well as I do have a YouTube channel, also the Gallant Knight, and there I will hopefully eventually be starting to post some more like drawing content as well. I haven't really done any kind of YouTube stuff in a long time on there, but hopefully I'm hoping to eventually kind of get that back up and running, but we'll see how that all goes. All right, I'm kind of thinking, and y'all hear me out on this one here. Here's the palette again. I'm kind of thinking for not the straps. I kind of wanted the straps with like a brown, but I'm thinking for the cloth, for like the hanging cloth, like this here and this in here, I could do something like this, but maybe a little darker, maybe like, so it's like a similar blue, but not really. I could actually make it a little paler, maybe. So, actually, you know what? Let's go darker. I'm curious. Go with a darker blue. How dark can we get before we're looking at purple? I feel like that's a little too similar. I could do that. I don't know. If we were to do that, I feel like we would have to go brighter blue, though. We could. Definitely could do that. I was kind of thinking more of a gray, though. Like something like this. Let's go for the paler and see how that looks. I think that makes a pretty decent cloth color. That might be a little too much. This. Ooh, I like that. Let's do that. So I'm going to make this the cloth color for the like draping cloth. And then we'll do a brown for this kind of stuff in here. And we could use that same draping cloth to do like the framing around this edge here and stuff like that. And then we could kind of do that same brown for the straps. That's kind of my idea. How about that? What do y'all think? I'm finding myself sticking my tongue out more for some reason during this stream. I'm not really sure why. It's kind of odd. Just a little odd. I find making your characters more colorful is always more fun. Even if it might not be more as accurate. It's always more invigorating to look at something that's colorful than something that's just a boring, you know, plastic, gross color. Even like doing little variations, because like I could make this cloth the same color as the metal, like the metal pieces here and here, but I don't want to do that because I mean, yeah, it would add a little more color consistency, but if you vary that color just a little bit, you still get your eyes drawing to those places that are matching without causing interference. You know, but at the same time, you're also getting something that's a little more varied, and it makes for a little more interesting of a costume and a little more interesting of a character. Because, like, it kind of makes it seem like there's more of a story behind the clothing than kind of first meets the eye. You know, because, like, maybe he got these cloth pieces years ago, but maybe more recently, like a year ago, he realized he needed a little bit more protection on the side, so he ended up purchasing these kind of flaps with the extra, like, armor on them. And he, you know, went for something that was a similar design, but a little different. He wanted something a little bit more updated. You know, it kind of just builds more character into the outfit more than just, oh, they're all the same color, you know. Now, mind you, some characters can really pull that off. They can pull off, like, straight black and grays with, you know, a little bit of, you know, green here and there. And it can make for a really interesting looking character. But at the same time, if you had a character that, you know, like, that would be interesting for certain areas. Like, if you had, like, a cyberpunk genre, you know, or something like that. But if you were to incorporate some bluish colors like this, it may make the character look a little more interesting. Or if you were to make variations of that green instead of making all the greens the same, you know. So that's why a lot of, like, cyberpunk-esque characters are very neon colored. But if you notice, there's even, like, I mean, again, this depends on the situation, but a lot of them will have, like, sponsorships on them or, like, different devices attached to them that add some color variation. So it might not be them themselves, but it could be that their mechanics or their attachments or whatever, their accoutrement, if you were to say, that makes them look different, and it adds more variety. I also completely forgot to do the bottom of the boots here, so let's do that real quick. Someone messaged me in Discord. Oh, jeez. It's some anime thing. I'll watch it later. It's all good. I've only got like 20 minutes left anyway, so we'll be wrapping the stream up pretty soon. But again, as I said, I'm hoping to get the base colors done at least here, and then we'll be able to do the rest later. Hopefully on a future stream when I have a little bit more time. So we're going to do the blue here, but we're not worried about that quite yet. Let's get a nice brown. A nice, like, hearty brown. Because I don't want something that's going to match this. You know, so I kind of want it, actually, if I could make it lighter, but a little deeper, maybe. So that's looking too close to this. Maybe I should go darker and just completely erase this concept. Or I could go lighter, but I feel like that's a little too much. Maybe, like, that's too close to this, I think. I like that darker one, actually. Let's try that again. Maybe a little bit more gray. I kind of like that because it's still pretty mellow compared to everything else, and the yellow still pops. So let's use that. So we're gonna do our second cloth color. And sometimes, I mean, it depends on the drawing. Sometimes I will label the palette with what the different colors are. But most of the time I feel like that's kind of unnecessary. Because if you, like, you already know what the color is, and especially if you group them with the similar areas, kind of like, you can kind of see how, like, up here, I've got all the metal colors here, and then I've got the cloth colors separated. So you can kind of see, like, even if I were to say, oh, what color is this? Well, it's with the other color that's used for cloth. So it's probably the blue that's used for cloth, you know? So it kind of helps that way. And nice thing is I can also go back and do, like, you know, mud splatter on the boots and stuff like that. Maybe some blood on, like, the side of the armor or something, so you get a little more effect to it. But that's all something that can come later. We'll get there. Don't worry. Again, future stream. We're not going to get everything. We're not going to finish this whole thing today by any means. I've got another like 20-25 minutes left and plenty to go. But that doesn't mean we can't have a little bit more fun and finish up this guy while we're here. And the only thing with the drawing streams, I may not do them consistently enough to like fully encompass like an entire piece. So like, you know, I may be here and there working on this one, but then, you know, another day I might be like, you know what, I just feel like working on it off stream, and that will happen. But you will, like, either way, you're gonna get the finished product again on my Instagram or my Twitter. It's definitely gonna show up there. And I may also show it on a future stream if I like to decide to finish it off stream and be like, hey, check this out, I finished it. So in case anybody's just here for Twitch, I got you. I will also probably eventually create a Twitch Discord of some kind, or like a Discord channel for this Twitch page, but I'm not particularly worried about it right now just because I'm not streaming all that much. So that will probably come after I do my Twitch revamp with some new accessories and like stuff ready to go. You can see we haven't actually touched this piece yet, the under piece here. It's because I haven't actually decided on the color for it yet. I don't really, there's a lot of colors overlapping here, so I don't really want to use any of these colors. What I'm thinking is maybe using the gold for that, actually. I am not a very big fan of having multiple colors overlap. Now, mind you, it can work in certain circumstances, especially if you go back and you're doing additional color on top. And like, you know, make, obviously if you have it varying in stages and stuff such, then it can look really good. As long as it's defined as two different pieces, which obviously the lines also help with that. But if you can, I try to, when I'm doing character designs and stuff, try to keep the colors separated so that everything looks really, really clean. And then again, that like spacing between colors also kind of makes it so that when you're looking at the one color, then it's going to kind of bring you through the rest of the costume instead of just like staring at one piece and then kind of working your way through one thing. It kind of draws your eye around the entire thing, which is why having a lot of dull colors accented with a bright color can be nice. Because you have a lot of dull colors here, but then the yellow kind of jumps you around. Now, mind you, it doesn't really jump you around towards the bottom yet, but we do have it in the very bottom of the boots. You'll also get some lighter colors in here once we start doing the reflections and everything later on. You'll also have the yellow here, so it will kind of drag you up and down. And I might put some yellow into the sword as well, but we'll see. That's all later. And then we got to do the straps. That went really well. Some people may also be asking me why I put all this stuff in one layer. I think it makes it easier for blending. Not everybody thinks that. But that's kind of just my personal thought on that, at least. You know, everybody's got a different opinion in that sense. I just think it's a little easier for blending. But you know, it is what it is. It's not super crazy either way. It's not super difficult. But I think it makes it a little easier for blending, especially once you get to, like, if you want to blend that gold into the metal here, you could do that. If you didn't want it to be all one color, you can kind of blend it as well. And it's kind of hard to do that when it's on two separate layers. It's kind of dumb looking, so I prefer not to do that. But I also kind of think it's challenging because you have to be a little more careful as well. I don't know. It's just how I like to do it. I might be dumb, but it happens. Let's get that little blue trimming in there. Actually, did I say I was going to do the blue for the trimming? Yeah, sure, why not? I also don't think I paletted the brown yet, so let's do that. Did I? Is that the same brown? Am I being dumb? Yes, it is the same brown. Or is it? Yes, it is. There's only one brown in this character. What am I talking about? Okay, let's get the blue. I'm going to do this. Should I do the sleeve blue? I think I'm going to do the sleeve blue. Although it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, considering he's apparently wearing a brown shirt. I could flip that, though. Yeah, let's do that. I kind of like that idea. Actually, the leather's kind of like armor, so it kind of does make sense, because it's kind of like the armored leggings, and he's got like the you know, this color underneath. So let's do that. Actually, let's do the brown. Again, kind of dragging that eye through the drawing without making it like painfully aware that that's what you're trying to do. Just looks nice, to be honest with you. All right. Probably got about 10-15 minutes left. So let's get the gold down on the trim here. Actually, to make this a little easier, make it dark. Well, this is a pretty dull yellow, so I'm not sure how much this is going to help, to be honest with you. But it will probably help more than 0. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I have multiple different grays, so that I can kind of switch between what looks better against light colors and what looks good against dark colors, so I can make sure that everything gets filled. It also kind of gives you a perspective of like, all right, well, I've got a lot of dark in this drawing, so maybe a lighter background might look nice. Or I've got a lot of light in this background, maybe a darker background would look nice. You can kind of look at it and be like, against all these colors, which one would you prefer? Because I kind of like this one. This one's not too bad, but I think this one actually looks better. Alright, and we're looking at a samurai. So I kind of like her. And I did it again, I think. Yeah, I did it again. But that's fine. That's okay. It happens. So we're just going to do the same thing I did before. Gonna grab this. Command C, Command V. Drop the palette, and then I'm just gonna kind of guide it into the right place. Move it out of here completely, and then just kind of boop. That'll do it. Actually, maybe a little off either way, but it is what it is. March down. Get it out of the palette layer. I'm going to turn these guys off as well, so I don't need them. I don't really need them here. I do have all the line art on the same level, though, so I can't really turn that on and off, unfortunately. But, yeah, it is what it is. Now I did grab her face color here. I think I just filled that in again with the, yep, I did, because I'm smart. And put it on the correct layer now. Just be done with that. So thinking, so this is a very pink color. I kind of want to go with a darker, like more like more of an orange, I'm thinking, for this guy. More like a, let's make this bigger. What do y'all think? I think that's pretty good. Could go a little darker. What do you think? I think it's pretty good. I like that better. Let's go with that. So this is going to be his face. I haven't actually decided on an eye color for him yet, I don't think. Thinking blue would probably make sense, but I could go with something a little more extreme like green. See how both look. And kind of decide after we do the hair and face color. You'll also notice that sometimes, if you look at these palettes over here, sometimes I'll start deciding on in-betweeners. For certain things. Like some of these are kind of going to work as in-betweeners for each other. This is also a bit of an in-betweener of these, but not quite. This is also kind of comparable as well, these two. So I can use a lot of those different colors that I've already used for the same character to build in-betweeners for like different shades and lights and darks and stuff. But there are some times when I'll be like just working on some color and realize, oh, you know what, this might be a better light accent or a better dark accent than the main base color. And so sometimes I'll just put that in the palette while I'm just doing base coloring, just so I know as a reference for later and I don't lose that color I like. There are also times where I will start with a base color and then start doing accent colors and realize I don't like the base color anymore. And eventually that like darker or lighter shade might take over what that looked like. And so then that would kind of change what that piece would look like. Because if I, had a lighter accent for this, and I realized, oh, you know what? I think this looks really good here and here and here. I'm going to start blending that out a little bit more. It might actually start to look like that's the base color, even if it's not. Let's give him some white eyes. And I've kind of thought about his hair. I'm thinking I want to do like a darkish gray, like a grayish black, but like a slightly brown. So like, if you were to do like this, if you look, this is actually like a lighter brown. So these can kind of mix. So you could use that as a highlight. So what I might do then is say, okay, I like this color. So this is his face, right? This is a shade that could be used as a part of a hair color that's like around here. Not quite like that, but a little bit more brown. So then this could be a blend in of that comes in a lighter area, and then we can get darker. But I kind of like this color, so I'm going to do that. And actually, I believe all of these are on the wrong ones. No, but these are a lot easier to transfer to the palette. So I'm going to do that real quick. Oh, nope. Look at that sinister, stern face. The other thing is, too, is a couple of these characters just have, like, an open hand stretched out towards nothing. And that's because at some point I'm also going to go back on a separate layer and make some magical effects in their hands with some colors that are not going to have any line art. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I feel like with, like, things like magical effects and stuff, they actually look a lot better without lines. And so without the lines, you won't really, like, it kind of feels a little more abstract. It's not confined to, like, a certain shape, it can be manipulated a little bit more. And I think that makes it a little more exciting. So that's that. Let's also do the skin tone on the hands, because I don't really want him wearing gloves. I feel like most samurais do wear gloves. But for this guy, since he's doing a lot of magic stuff as well, gotta make sure them hands are not doing the wrong thing, Can't have them restrained by leather or metal or whatever other kind of gloves you'd wear. But yeah, we're coming right up to the end of the stream here, guys. I think I might still be able to get them done here. I just want to finish the hands, and then I think we just have the swords left. And the swords we're gonna make a little bit different, but not too different. I want to keep the blue theme with the swords as well, but the blades are still gonna be silver. I want to stick with that. I do also, I'm gonna take this blue metal color, and that's the color I'm going to make the sheaths. We got two, obviously, because he's got the one sword on his back and then the one in his hand. So we're almost there. We're very close. He's also got chunky legs. He's a very chunky boy down there. Oh, and I forgot his thumb. Alright. So let's throw on... What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the blue gold for... Or, sorry. I'm going to use the gold for the handguard. And then I'm gonna use black for the metal, and the blue. Actually, I'm gonna use the blue metal color because I think that'll accent better. To be honest with you, I think that'll look better for the sword. But we'll see in a second if that looks good or not. To be honest, don't really know. You don't really know until you try, and that's a big part of this kind of thing. Is it's all about just messing around until you find something that works, and then you just freaking stick with it. You don't touch it again. No, definitely don't do that. That's a terrible idea. This is also a gold accent here, which I completely forgot about earlier, but that's fine. And we're gonna do. And I always don't go all the way to the corner. You can kind of see I don't go all the way to the corner with the black, because that makes it so that it's easier to blend. Because then you can kind of come back with this, and if you use a different color while you're blending, this is something I learned from a friend of mine as well. If you use a different color while you're blending, your blends look 100% better. So, if you're blending with a black red, and you blend it with a green red that is like a lighter gray or whatever, it's going to look a lot better. It's also giving you a little bit more options so that you can actually go a little bit darker and a little bit lighter if you want to. Because blending black can be difficult, but it doesn't have to be. Alright, so there's the black section of that. And then let's put the blue. Honestly, probably would have been easier if I did the blue first, but whatever. You live and you learn. Or you don't. You just keep doing things the same dumb way. Eventually someone will smack you. Maybe. If you're lucky. You're like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing it like this? Do it the other way. You're like, oh, that's a good idea. Always good to find yourself, and I don't have one. It's always good to find yourself an art sensei. I know that sounds really, like, stupid the way I said it, and it's because it is. But you should always find someone that you can look up to for your art. Especially someone who actually talks to you, not just someone, like, online. I mean, obviously, if it's, like, a friend online, it's a little different. But if it's just, like, a YouTuber, you know, that's cool and all. But just listening to what someone else says is not necessarily going to help you become better. What's going to help you become better is, like, actually practicing and then having someone to show and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And if they give you crap like, hey, that's awesome, that's not helpful. Get somebody who'll be real with you and be like, you know what, no, you did that looks terrible. You know, somebody who's going to be honest and be like, you know what, no, you need to fix that could look a lot better, and it doesn't. You know, I'm also, by the way, complete side note, I'm also going to make a separate, actually, you know what, before I do that, a separate palette over here that's just specifically for the sword, so I don't forget what colors I used in the sword. And of course I put it in the wrong thing again. Let's put it on the right layer this time. go. Alright, so we've got the color for everything. Obviously I didn't really get to fill in the sword, but I do have to get going, guys. I do appreciate anybody who is here for checking out this stream. If you did enjoy, then please come back for the next one. I'll stream. I'm going to try to stream a little more often. I'm still kind of busy, unfortunately, but I'm hoping to stream a little more frequently so that I can actually kind of get the hang of it. And eventually, if it really starts working out, then I'll probably get some upgrades going for computer stuff. And eventually, I might actually be able to stream some games other than like the same game over and over. But that would be awesome. I'd love to get to do some more streaming. It's a lot of fun. I really do enjoy it. I feel like, unfortunately, due to certain situations, I'm limited by how much I can actually do with it. But it'd be a lot of fun to do it a little bit more frequently. That's going to be all for the stream today, guys. Thanks for checking it out. Come back to the next one if you enjoyed. Much appreciated. Have a good one.